On the side of the rock now, we have this broken column that you see over there. It was where the statue of Sphinx it was placed. So on the top of the column, it was the statue that we've seen inside the museum, that it was placed as offering. And here on the drawing, you can see how it was constructed, the other stoa with the columns that you see over there. The stoa of the Athenians after the last battle, the naval battle at the island of Salamis. And the wall that we call the wall of the enfreed slaves that I mentioned, on the wall it's written names of the slaves that basically they won their freedom, and they have wrote other names on this wall. The wall is the type of the polygonal wall, as we call it, that it has this uneven shape of a construction. We have two systems of constructing walls back then. The polygonal one is the one that you see. The other one is the isodomic, which is the stones one on the side of the other with plain lines, let's say, and like that. So this wall, basically to retain the foundation for the temple that you see the columns above, the temple of Apollo, a wall that it was for the names of the freed slaves, and also in front of the wall it was the stoa for basically the stoa of the Athenians to place after the naval battle. They said this stoa it was used as a museum back then because they have placed anchors and part of the boats of the Persians after the battle. So we see part of the columns. So this is part of the sacred way that we continue. And some of those parts have placed also some other marble slabs in between. Yes, we can send them. And the higher we go, if you see in the distance, you can see also the other ruins that I mentioned on the right side. The sanctuary of Nafronea, which means before the temple, so to protect the temple, and the gymnasium. We can stop and get a breath. On this side and take a look towards the wall, you can see some of the writings.
Yes.
So it has many names. They say from the period of approximately 100 years. We have approximately something like 200 names or something like that of the people, the workmen that participate for the construction of the building. So it gives us a little bit the numbers of those years. So it's visible some of the writings on this side of the wall. And we're good.
I think I see her up here. You're 14 of those here. Oh, yep. See how far you can go. Look at her ass. Did you take it back
Now I'll make one more stop at the altar of the temple. To show you, we have a Greek inscription here, which is also easy to understand the Greek writing. Okay, so the inscription that we have here at the base of the construction, this grey construction that you see, it's the altar of the temple of Apollo. You see that it has been reconstructed because you see the new marble as well. It's a grey marble, and it comes from an island, the island of Chios. Chios is one of the islands in the Aegean Sea, and we know that the people of Chios constructed the altar. So what the inscription says over there, it's that Delphi, the first word in the first line, it's the word Delphi in Greek, Delphoi, if you read it. The second one, it starts with an E, it's a verb, it says gave, edokan. The second line, it's another Greek writing, it says Chiois, it's the people of Chios, the island of Chios. And then it starts a letter like a PR, pro-madin, pro means before, madin, it means the prophecy. So they say that the people of Delphi gave to the people of Chios the prophecy before the prophecy. So we can say that the people of Chios, they had the privilege to take the oracles, the Delphic oracles, before the other cities. And why they had that? Because they had constructed the altar of the temple of Apollo, so it was considered as a big construction, and they placed it and dedicated to God Apollo. So you see the inscription written in red, and you see the altar that it has been reconstructed. Across from the altar now, we see also the column of the Delphi tripod, and we can have it stop at the end of the steps over there. And this is the column that I told you that the original one is in Istanbul, in Turkey. And here we have a copy of this column.
I didn't know where to go up now. Shoot.
So the column that you see here is part of the column of the Delphi tripod, originally it was placed here after another battle during the Persian Wars, so the Battle of Platees. So the column that looks like three snakes that goes to the top. On the top there used to be the three heads of the snakes that open, and above it was placed the tripod, the bronze cauldron with the three legs. So the column, originally placed here, it was moved in the city of Constantinople in the time when we were part of the Eastern Roman Empire, and Constantinople was the capital of the Byzantine Empire, of Constantine the Great. So the emperor transported the column from here to Constantinople, and today it's in the city of Istanbul next to Hippodrome. If you've been in Istanbul, you can see the column. So this column that you see now, it's made out of a copy of the original bronze column of the Delphi tripod.
What was that?
The column that was made out of bronze, now it has been, the copy it's made a little bit different, the way that with a copper combined with some other metals. On the side it's this circular construction that it was another base where a statue was placed above the base that you see over there. Again from the same period, from the time of the period of the Persian Wars. And let's make one last stop here in front of the temple and just the entrance also of the temple, the east side of the poly. To this, they would have light at the inner side of the temple. So above the temple, there was these triangular pediments that we've seen it at the museum, that it showed the arrival of God Apollo, the glory Epiphany, as I mentioned, and the statue of God Dionysus. Inside the temple, we have indications that there used to be holes where the Delphic tripod it was placed, so the bronze cauldron with the three legs as we know, and we also have indications that it was the seat of Pythia as well. So Pythia, the priestess, she was sitting inside the temple, she was chewing the leaves, the vapors, it was coming from underground. This was the oracle of God Apollo inside the temple, but because the whole area it was like a sacred place, they say even if you stand underneath a tree or something and ask God Apollo will give you the answer to the oracle. So what we see as a temple, this is the second temple of Apollo. That's why we see that the temple, the base of the temple, it goes deeper from the three steps that you see over there. That means that on the lower part, it was also from the first temple of Apollo, the foundation of the first temple. At the temple, it was written some of the quotes, know thyself, nothing in excess, and something like that. It was written at the base of the temple, now it's no longer preserved. And the other thing is, from here you can see there is another group over there. Above the group there is a wall, and where the theater is, if you remember the drawing that I mentioned, so above the temple it has the ruins of the theater, and nowadays we have the ruins of the theater from the period of the Roman times. So we know that the theater has been reconstructed in the Roman times, as we mentioned, but it has the construction of the circular orchestra, the seating area, and the stage to the front, but now it's just in ruins. Okay, now I'll give you some time so as to make also the arrangements with the driver, because he called me again and I'll let you know. So why don't you take, if someone wants to walk towards the theater, I'm not suggesting the stadium, because the stadium it goes really further up. You need 20 minutes in order to reach on the top, and 3:30 it closes the area here. So I want to give some time if you want to walk towards the theater, and then you come back down the same way to exit, okay? And let's give a meeting outside the museum, so as everybody will be outside the museum. I'll head towards the museum where the others are as well, so as to let them know, okay? So let's say take half hour. Let's say 3:30 we're leaving from here. So 3:30 please be at the museum, outside the museum. Okay? Take your time. If you want to walk towards the theater, you can walk from the bridge here. It's a little bit easier. But there are steps also to the back of the temple. Okay?
Temple of Apollo. Boy, that's pretty. Smile.
Stop the car and look down, there's no problem.
Hasn't bent over breathing.
Look at the theater. Yes. Very cool.
This is from the river. If you remember that I mentioned at the lake that we've seen that there is a river that it flows towards that lake. In this area it's part visible, the river, like a drainage channel here. So we're not going to take, this is just the road to head towards Kalabaka. And then tomorrow as we're going to drive towards Thessaloniki, from Thessaloniki there's going to be a highway then. We don't have any more roads like that, it's just a little bit this part of Greece like that.
Mountains. We're in the middle of Greece. Going to Kalambaka from Delphi. Monday the 4th of November.